some major changes to the SNAP program and Medicaid. So if you are one of the nearly 100 million people enrolled in either of these programs or both of these programs, you must know this information, as this is changing literally right now as we speak. And it's all highlighted right here in this article, which I will pop up on the screen for in just a second so you can read through this, but I will point out the key details I need you to know about, because if you are, again, one of the nearly 100 million people across these two programs, these benefits are changing massively right now. This is possibly the biggest overhaul of these two programs that we've ever seen in the history of these programs. Again, I'm going to pop this up in just a second. I will talk through the key highlights that I want you to know about. And again, if you're enrolled in these programs, just please be aware of this. I'm not here to scare anybody, but rather you need to know this, because there's going to be a lot of people that are blindsided by this because they don't recognize these changes are coming and they're implementing now. Either way, let's talk through the details here. This is a very interesting, precarious situation. And again, really fast here, when I say SNAP benefits, I'm talking about Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Some people refer to it as food stamps or EBT. There's about 42 million people there, and there's about 71 to 72 million people enrolled in Medicaid. Obviously, there's some overlap between the two, but collectively about 100-ish million people between these two programs. That's massive. Now, first off, I want to give a huge shout out to Anthony Raymond, who is one of the roughly 3,000 people that have called that team of trusted advisors right there to get some help with his Medicare plan. And all of you reaching out to them, seriously, I've seen the comments down below. It is absolutely incredible. A ton of comments rolling in lately. But those of you that have Medicare, there's about 70 million people enrolled in Medicare. If you are enrolled in Medicare to any capacity, call that team of trusted advisors. They will help you find the best plan with the best coverages and the best fit, and hopefully save you a boatload of money, like a lot of other people here in the community that are saving on average $1,100 of average savings when they call them and have a quick free review. Again, maybe 5 minutes, 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes on the phone to have them look through the 20,000 plans that are available and to find you better options and to save a ton of money, get you better coverages. That's what people are doing. And by the way, after you call them, leave me a comment down below and leave the word chapter, or write the word chapter in your comment, because that's the keyword that I search for to find these comments. And I would love to feature you and give you a shout out in a future video, just like Anthony Raymond right here in this video. By the way, Anthony, thank you so much for reaching out. Really appreciate it. But he got some amazing help from the team right there, the team of advisors. It's totally free, by the way. I'm not trying to sell you anything. It's free. I don't want your money, okay? I've never asked for your money. I've never tried to sell you anything here. I don't have anything to sell, okay? Seriously, it's free. I love free stuff. I want to sell you on free stuff, okay? It'll cost you nothing. All right, anyway, you get the point. Sorry, I'm trying to be a little funny, but it's not working. All right, anyway, let's pop this article up right here, right now. Feel free to read it if you want, but I'll talk you through the key details here. Okay, since the article starts out by talking about SNAP, let's start out by talking about SNAP here. Okay, in the big beautiful bill, they're going to be reducing SNAP expenditures by about $295 billion over the next 10 years. That's $29.5 billion a year that is likely going to be cut from this program. Now, they're also going to be, with their changes here, this is going to impact or remove about 3.2 million people from the SNAP benefit rolls. Okay, remember I said earlier, there's about 42.2 million people enrolled in the program, and about 3.2 million people are going to be losing benefits. That means the new, basically, beneficiary amount on SNAP benefits is going to be right around 39 million people once these changes are implemented. Okay, what are some of the major changes here? Well, number one, they're going to be capping the potential raise on benefits. Remember, SNAP benefits, just like Social Security, gets a COLA, an annual COLA. A lot of people don't realize that. You get a COLA on your SNAP as well. They're going to be capping that. That's going to be extracting about $35 billion over the next 10 years as well. About a $3.5 billion extraction per year is what they'll be saving on that. But here's really the big ones here. The work requirements. This is the really big one here, okay? Let me point this out. There's a lot of people that reach out asking questions on this. The work requirements are this. 18 through the age of 64. 18 through 64 will be the new age requirement for the SNAP benefits, okay? But is it everybody? No. able-bodied adults without dependents, okay? It's those individuals. ABAWD individuals, you've heard me talk about that before. Able-bodied adults without dependents between the ages of 18 through 64 will be required to do this. 80 hours per month, 20 hours per week in work, skill training, education training, volunteering, whatever it happens to be, all of that qualifies. Somebody with a disability is exempt. You do not need to do this if you have a disability. People with disabilities are not considered able-bodied. Okay, just want to clarify that. Now, previously, they also allowed somebody with a qualified dependent under the age of 18 to be basically exempt from the work requirements. That's not the case anymore. The new age range on dependents is under the age of 7. So 6 and under would be considered a dependent. Age 7 and above is no longer considered a dependent, okay? So that's important to understand that right there. There's a lot of people out there that maybe have a dependent who's 7 or 8 or 10 or 12 or 14 that thinks, I'm good, I'm exempt, right? No, not anymore. A dependent now, with the SNAP program, it's different from Medicaid, but for a SNAP program, it's 6 and under is a dependent, okay? Now, I know that I hosted a live stream the other day talking about this, so I want to clarify this, okay? SNAP, it's 6 and under is a dependent. 7 and above is not a dependent anymore with the SNAP rules, okay? That's SNAP. Let's talk about Medicaid really quickly, okay? Medicaid. Let me talk about, since I just talked about the dependent there, let's talk about the dependent right here on Medicaid so we can have these side by side as a comparison. Medicaid, the rule is different. The work requirements, 19 through 64. For ABAWD, again, able-bodied adults without dependents. But the dependent age range here for Medicaid work requirements is 13 and under is considered dependent. 14 and above is not considered a dependent anymore, okay, by Medicaid rules. Don't get me wrong, we all recognize a 14-year-old is still very much a dependent, okay? We already know that. That's not like some brainiac idea. We know this. A 14-year-old, 15, 16, 17, I mean, maybe when they're getting a little bit older, they're maybe not as dependent, but by classification, they're still very much a dependent, right? But anyway, by the new Medicaid rules, 13 and under, dependent. 14 and above, no longer considered dependent. That's Medicaid rules, okay? So you see the differences there? Let's just do these side by side really quickly here. SNAP dependent would be considered 6 and under, Medicaid dependent, 13 and under. SNAP no longer dependent, 7 and above, Medicaid dependent, no longer 14 and above. Make sense? Okay, so is that clarified from the live stream the other day? Hope that helps a little bit. Whew, okay, now they've also anticipated roughly 10 million people will likely be cut from Medicaid once these new rules go into effect. About 10-ish million people probably going to be losing some kind of medical coverages here. That's nasty. That's nasty stuff right there, right? So the rules will likely go from about 72 million, roughly right around that range, down to around 61 to 62 million people over time here. Next, another provision that they have there is the $35 copay. $35 copay. Right now, somebody on Medicaid probably pays about $0, $1, or maybe $3 as a copay, but now they're implementing on some services, not everything, a $35 copay. Okay? There you go. Those are the new rules. These are the ones. So I want to bring this to your attention. Okay? I can certainly talk about this. In fact, I'm going to say this much right now. I guarantee you I will talk about this in a separate video again, because I'm going to get a lot of questions about this. Okay? I can come back and I can clarify this in live streams. I can make dedicated videos. Let me know down below in the comment section, where do you need clarification on this? I'd be happy to jump on another video or a live stream and to talk about this further for you. This is nuts. A lot of people are going to get hurt by this, but these are the rules. Okay? I'm just the messenger. I'm not the guy that writes the rules. I wish I wrote the rules, because if I wrote the rules, I can promise you this much, things would be very, very different if I could be the guy writing the rules. But unfortunately, I'm not, okay? I'm the messenger. I don't know. Messenger is not as fun as writing the rules. I'm just saying, right? Writing the rules would be way more fun. But being the messenger is just where I'm at, okay? All right, anyway. Join Anthony Raymond. Again, Anthony, thank you so much for reaching out. Really appreciate it. I gave Anthony a shout out in a community post the other day as well. So again, hopefully you saw that, Anthony. But otherwise, please join Anthony and the other 3,000 people. Call that team of trusted advisors. They're going to go to work for you on your behalf completely for free to shop the 20,000 plans across the country to find you the best plan at the best price with the best coverages and the best fit for you and your personal needs. So you can see the doctors you want, the providers you want to see, the networks you want to be within, the offices, the clinics you want to visit, the prescription needs if you have any at all. They're going to find all of that and present you your options. And again, it is totally free for them to do that for you. And hopefully you can be like the average person out there, calling that phone number and saving $1,100. By the way, after you talk to them, and whatever your experience is, whether you get a better plan, you get better coverages, you save a bunch of money, whatever it is, leave me a comment down below. Write the word chapter in your comment as well. And again, hopefully I will find that. And then I would love to feature you just like Anthony in a future video and give you a shout out and a highlight in a community post, whatever it happens to be. But then again, yes, thank you for that information. I would love to feature you in an upcoming video. Otherwise, again, it's totally free. We've got nothing to sell here. It's totally free to talk to them, get your free review, and some help there. And again, they have access to 20,000 plans, supplement plans, Medigap plans, Part D plans, Medicare Advantage, initial enrollment if you're turning 65 or retiring. They've got it all, and they will help you. It is by far your best resource. All right, anyway, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. Also, share this video. Big share button down below. Please get this information out to people. Let's help some people out to understand what's going on right now. This is nuts, right? Also, share that phone number. Share that phone number with anybody that you know that is enrolled in Medicare. About 70 million people enrolled in Medicare. Share that phone number, please, with anybody so they can also get some help with their Medicare. And when they save a bunch of money and get better coverages, then you get the credit and you get to be the hero. And that's awesome. Also, like the video, thumbs up button down below. Share the video, share button. I already said that. Otherwise, go ahead and check out the other 6,000-ish videos here on the channel in the video library. The popular videos I've hand-selected for you down below in the description or popping up on your screen. Check those videos out. Until next time, enjoy, take care, have a good one, and I'll catch you again later in the next